Many times I've heard people say that Paul wasn't clear about the weaknesses that he had, which he mentioned in 2 Corinthians chapter 12. And sadly, many people take advantage of this verse to explain why they fail and fall into sin. I'll be showing you a video because I've heard again someone say the same thing just a few days ago. Now, the preacher is a guest preacher in this church, in Life Church, but I don't blame him. I don't think he's that theologically trained in the scriptures. I'm not here to attack anybody, the church or this person, Dustin Tavelia. He's actually a magician, winner of the America's Got Talent 2021. But I'm here to point out that Paul was indeed clear about what he meant with the weaknesses that he had. So let's watch the video first.
Because here's the other thing. Paul says, I'm going to brag about my weakness. I boast in my weakness. Do you know, to this day, there's debate about what that thorn in his flesh was, what that weakness was, what that trial was. There's debate about it. You know why there's debate? Because this thing that Paul was so quick to brag about, that he wasn't ashamed of, he never told us what it was. It's like, I brag about my weakness, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. I don't think Paul was delusional. I think this was Paul preaching to himself, saying, you know what, God? I got this weakness. I'm feeling persecuted. This is difficult. I keep begging you to take it. You're not taking it.
All right. So did Paul conceal or fail to mention what his weaknesses was? Actually, you'll find the word weaknesses and weak in chapter 11. But the problem is people read 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 5 to 10 in isolation from chapter 11, which is actually within the same pericope or section that he was discussing. The background of this part of the scriptures is Paul was trying to answer or explain himself why he's an apostle. So because there were people challenging his apostleship, we know that the apostle Paul wasn't a follower of the Lord Jesus when he was still ministering here on earth. Eventually, he became a follower. And in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, he inserted in the last part of the Christological creed that Peter saw the Lord resurrected, James and all the rest of the apostles, but last of all, as one untimely born, he also appeared to me. There are people who were objecting when Paul inserted himself as one of the eyewitnesses of the Lord Jesus Christ. But he was an eyewitness through special revelation. Paul's argument was he was an apostle by direct appointment of the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay? Now, let's read first the verses so that we can be clear about this topic. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 7. So to keep me from becoming conceited because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, a thorn was given me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to harass me, to keep me from becoming conceited. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this, that it should leave me. Verses 9 and 10, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong. So here's my main point. Paul's weaknesses was not a failure to deal with sin. But Dustin didn't mention that. Okay, he wasn't arguing that. I'm just saying that some people use this argument again to explain why they fall to sin. But his lack of power to deal with all the hazards that come with the job. Remember, he was an apostle. And actually in chapter 11, he enumerates some of the sufferings that he endured as part of his calling as a missionary, as an apostle of the Lord Jesus Christ. He needed the power of God to overcome all the sufferings. So I hope that nobody will use this verse to explain why they have fallen into sin. Now let's try to break this down. Verse 7. So he said to keep me from being conceited. So this is what Paul was arguing. The revelation that he received strengthened his case as a genuine apostle against his opponents who were undermining his apostleship. But here in 2 Corinthians, it appears to be that the Corinthians already accepted him as an apostle. So that issue was settled, but still he had to explain himself in this epistle. Number 2, a thorn was given me in the flesh. So this means the attack was something physical. Now, a lot of people would say that this is a physical defect that he had. No, that was not his point. He said it's an attack. It's a thorn. That means it's very difficult. I think he was referring to what he already mentioned in chapter 11, verses 23 to 28. So let's go there first. Verse 23. Are these servants of Christ? People who were challenging his apostleship. I am better one. I am talking like a madman, with far greater labors, far more imprisonments, with countless beatings and often near death. 5 times I received at the hands of the Jews The 40 lashes less one. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was shipwrecked. A night and a day I was adrift at sea, on frequent journeys, in danger from rivers, danger from robbers, danger from my own people, danger from Gentiles, danger in the city, danger in the wilderness, danger at sea, danger from false brothers, in toil and hardship, through many a sleepless night, in hunger and thirst, often without food, in cold and exposure, and apart from other things, there is the daily pressure on me of my anxiety for all the churches. I think this is what Paul has been mentioning about the hazards that go along with the job as a missionary. Okay, I'll go back to this later. Number 3, a messenger from Satan. So obviously, the source of attack is the enemy, the Satan. Okay. Number 4, to harass me. That's the purpose. In number 1, that was the eventual purpose of the Lord, to keep him from being conceited. But as far as Satan was concerned, this is to harass him. The attack was pressuring Paul to stop his mission. Okay, that's the idea. Number 5, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this, that it should leave me. So God could have commanded Satan to stop from harassing Paul. Number 6, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. So this was the Lord's response to him. That's why the Lord did not stop the Satan to harass Paul. God used the attacks to strengthen Paul so that he can use the power of God in order to endure all of those sufferings that he mentioned in chapter 11, verses 23 to 28. Number 7, therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. So instead of boasting about the revelations that he received, which he mentioned in chapter 12, just a few verses 1 to 4, okay? He was talking about the special revelation that he had. He went into the third heaven, okay? So that was unique. Now, of course, some people will not believe him. Was there any witness that he had that supernatural experience? We're not going to argue with that anymore. I was just telling you that this was Paul's argument, that he had this unique experience with the Lord Jesus Christ, okay? And this is one of the things that he uses to argue that he indeed saw the Lord Jesus, apart from the Damascus experience, okay, when he first met the Lord. So number 8, for the sake of Christ, then I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. This is basically what he mentioned in chapter 11, verses 23 to 28. Weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. So these are the hazards and the risks of being a missionary. For when I am weak, then I am strong. So again, Paul wasn't mentioning something of a physical defect. Well, when he went to Galatia, he mentioned something about being sick. That the Galatians, if they could, pull out their eyes and give it to Paul. So we don't know exactly what happened to Paul there. Paul stopped asking the Lord to take away the thorn in the flesh, even though he asked for the removal of it or for Satan to stop doing it 3 times. He continued to face all the sufferings that came with the calling as an apostle of the Lord Jesus Christ. So the idea is the weaknesses is he had a hard time dealing with the physical infirmities that comes along with the mission. Now, actually, he was more specific about this because there was an incident in his life wherein the people were using this to charge him as a coward. And Paul called it his weakness, a specific event, which actually happened a couple of times early in his ministry. Paul's weaknesses led him to escape persecution rather than face physical beating to death. So he called it weakness. Again, this is found in chapter 11. You know, the original writings of Paul, they didn't have chapter divisions and versifications. So we know this is part of the whole section that Paul was discussing. So let's take a few steps back, few verses. In verse 30, if I must boast, I will boast of the things that show my weakness. Again, this he's referring to weakness. Okay, he's clear about the weakness. The God and Father of the Lord Jesus, he who is blessed forever, knows that I'm not lying. At Damascus, the governor under King Aretas was guarding the city of Damascus in order to seize me. But I was let down in a basket through a window in a wall and escaped his hands. Okay, he did not face this governor. No, he was very afraid. So that's why he called it weakness. You can actually see the story in the book of Acts chapter 9, verse 23 to 25. When many days had passed, the Jews plotted to kill Paul. But their plot became known to Shaul, the same person. Paul is his Greek name and Shaul is his Hebrew name. They were watching the gates day and night in order to kill him. But his disciples took him by night and let him down through an opening of the wall, lowering him in a basket. So this was the plan of Paul and of the disciples. Now, this was no joke because Paul knew very well how violent the Jews, and he was one of them, were against the believers of Jesus. And he was prime among those who persecuted the Lord. You remember, the Jews weren't allowed to execute anybody that they wanted. All right? They had to ask the Romans to do it for them. That's why when they wanted to kill the Lord Jesus, they had to bring him to Pilate in order to execute him. But it came to a time that they were able to execute somebody without the Roman authorities. If you remember the story of Stephen, the first martyr, they brought him out of the court and they killed him. They stoned him to death. And the Roman authorities didn't do anything about it. So it started a wave of severe persecutions among Christians. Paul was the leader. If you look at Acts chapter 8, verse 1, and Shaul approved of Stephen's execution. And there arose on that day a great persecution against the church in Jerusalem. And they were all scattered throughout the regions of Judea and Samaria except the apostles. So the apostles stayed in Jerusalem, but the disciples were so afraid. Devout men buried Stephen and made great lamentation over him. But Shaul was ravaging the church, and entering house after house, he dragged off men and women and committed them to prison. So Paul understood how severe the persecution was. Now, if we jump to chapter 11, verse 19, now those who were scattered because of the persecution that arose over Stephen traveled as far as Phoenicia and Cyprus and Antioch, speaking the word to no one except the Jews. So, they were not only scattered in Judea and Samaria, starting from Jerusalem, but they also went outside of Israel, Judea and Samaria. So, let me go back to my initial argument. Paul's weakness was not a failure to deal with sin, but his lack of power to deal with all the hazards, persecution, sufferings, insults, all of those that comes with the job. He needed the power of God to overcome all sufferings. So I hope that is clear with all of us.